Hey everybody, welcome to Nurse Strong. I'm your host Alicia.
And I'm your host, Nikki.
And thank you for joining us. We wanted to keep on with our relationship series, but before we get into that, how's your week been?
You ever had one of them weeks where you just wanted to be over with and just hit the reset? That's been one of them weeks, where everything that can go wrong can go wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
My week has been a little crazy too. I wanted to quit being a nurse this week.
Oh, really?
You have to check in with me. Like, do you still want to be a nurse today? Yes, no. I quit every other day.
We already in 2021 and we already quitting.
Yeah. I mean, it's just stressful, with COVID. I don't think people really understand how that's affecting nurses right now.
And I think they're getting more lax about it, even more so now.
Yeah, I don't know, people just, when something just keeps going on, they keep hearing pandemic and COVID, now it's just a part of life, people are just starting to ignore it. Exactly. And it's come on,
right.
we
still gotta deal with it.
Yeah, so this week at my job, I work in a clinic and we deal mostly with heart failure patients, but it's so overrun in the hospital with COVID and COVID patients needing treatments and things that now we're having to provide services to treat COVID patients, which is totally different from what we're supposed to be doing, but it's kind of this is how you keep your job, because right now COVID is taking precedence over everything. Right. So if they feel we have to calm down on treating this population, or this population is gonna have to go to hospital or whatever, so that we can get these COVID patients under control. It's yes, I'm a nurse and I have skills, but I'm still a person. I still should have a right to choose what type of work I do that's in line with my mental health and my family and my comfort zone, but that's not really what's going on with nurses right now.
They're just being told what to do.
Yeah, it's such a crisis that it's you're a nurse, then this is what we need you to do, and it's really no special nothing, especially if people are leaving and doing contract nursing, but if you are employed and you're working during your normal shifts, they just tell you to do whatever. Yeah, and you don't have a choice, and so it's been a little draining.
I can see how that would be.
So
that's supposed to start next week?
And
are you nervous?
I'm just drained. Honestly, I'm not nervous because, like I said, I'm a nurse and I don't pick and choose who I'm going to treat. I'm going to take the proper precautions and put on the proper PPE, but make sure I have the proper PPE. Make sure I have what I need.
The proper training.
To give the treatment, the ventilation, make sure it's not so jam-packed that I can't, get a break. It's just draining, the changes when you have one career path and, but I'm going to do what I have to do and do it to the best of my ability, but it's just draining.
Right.
And then this whole vaccine, man, I just want to say I'm not for or against the vaccine.
Right.
I think people can make whatever choice, but it's a lot of vaccine bullying going on.
I was getting ready to say that. It's pressure to get it, or why didn't you get it, or why did you get it? It's
let people decide.
You don't want to be the ambassador for the office to get the vaccine, or so you didn't get it. Well, why didn't you get it?
Yeah.
And even patients and the office fan. I mean, it's coming from all sides.
Yeah.
If you want to get it, then okay. If you don't, then it's okay too. But my choice is my choice.
Yeah, and I see people on social media saying things well, if you don't want to get it, you're part of the solution, part of the problem.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not for it or against it. Right. I'm honestly just think it's a personal choice.
Right.
If I get it, then it's my business. If I don't get it, that's also my business.
Right.
And people have just forgotten that people have rights and privacy, even healthcare workers.
Right.
Because all that work is like, did you get the vaccine?
Yes.
Or you're not going to get it? Did you get the vaccine?
Yes.
And it's like, okay, I'm a person too. I have the right to privacy.
Right.
And the vaccine is a personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like you adding that onto, you know.
Yeah. It's unnecessary stress.
Yeah. And then these fools at the Capitol. I mean, we was talking about our week, and that's why my week has been draining, okay?
That was, yeah, that was definitely
embarrassing.
Yeah. It's an understatement.
Draining. It's disgusting.
Right.
In so many different ways.
Right. There's just so many things wrong with, I mean, yeah, they stormed the Capitol, but there was just so many more things that went along with that.
Yeah, and undertones and
exactly, that's what I was looking for.
Like how they even get that
far? Like you made it inside.
It's a joke. It's just a lot of things are showing as a complete joke, but that's why my week was draining. Hopefully this week coming up will be a better week.
Yes, we're gonna manifest it.
Yes, because you know.
So you got these stones going.
Yes,
right?
bring my crystals.
Yes.
You know what? I wonder if they'll let me bring some crystals and set up when I'm treating my patients. Some crystals and my sage.
Yes.
And some stones. I'll play some music, some high vibration music.
Yes. Set the whole energy high.
Yes, definitely. I actually might do that, honestly, and just dare somebody to tell me to turn it off.
Who gonna tell you? Like,
right, I can't touch it.
Right.
It's in my pocket. I can't touch it. But
yeah.
So
what are we gonna talk about today?
Today, we were going to kind of continue with our relationship series, and you know, we've been exploring different types of relationships, and we can actually just go on and on and on because everybody's relationship is so different. But the mother-daughter relationship, such a let's say important, delicate, you know, relationship. So, and I don't think mother-daughter relationships get explored a lot.
I don't think they do.
You know, people talk about like mama's boys or
right, you never hear like a mama's girl or something like that, or it's always daddy's girl.
Yeah, or people who have daddy issues. But you never talk about how your relationship with your mother as a woman,
it's true,
basically predicts how you will be as a woman. So how do you, like, I think that's probably one of the most important relationships we have. Like, definitely, my dog is hitting
he wants to be a part of the show.
Yes, he said he was gonna behave, but he's hitting the tripod. But okay. So I think it's one of the most important relationships. Like, you know, your relationship with your dad, I think, kind of predicts how you will interact with men, or what you expect from men, or how you expect to be treated.
Right.
But I think your relationship with your mom kind of predicts whether you feel accepted.
That's what I was gonna say. It's almost like how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
Like as you're growing into a woman and figuring out who you are, how you want to be treated, how your relationships are gonna be, like that kind of helps formulate all of that.
Yep, and I think it helps you determine if you feel safe. Like, will you do you have somebody? How willing you are to take a chance?
Right, open up or talk to somebody.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, one of the main things I think when I think about what I learned from my mother-daughter relationship is it also teaches you how to be a friend. And so I see a lot of people who have issues with women, like we talked about this before, like, oh, I'm not friends with women, and I think that stems from your relationship with your mother. And so I think it can go either way. So for instance, I think it affected me in a way. I think when I was growing up, I was always trying to get acceptance from my mother, like always trying to make her happy.
Right.
And so I feel like it made me a good friend because I knew how to make you feel good about, like, you know, oh, I'm a girl's girl, and I still feel like I'm a girl's girl, but that kind of overdoing it, like wanting to be accepted, wanting to make people comfortable, wanting to make people feel happy, and always that cheerleader and encouraging you. I think that came from how, you know, it was with me and my mother. My mother had me young, so it was a lot that she was going through as a mom, and I feel like I was always just trying to, you know, our roles reverse sometimes a little bit. And so as a friend, like as an adult, it made me always just trying to be accepted. I thought everybody liked me. Yes, I was like, you know, everybody loves me. I didn't think, you know, because I was gonna do whatever it took. Like, why wouldn't you like me?
I'm doing what you want me to do. Yeah. So why won't you like? I'm not giving you a reason not to like me.
Yeah. And so I never knew. You know, I know I may have some things from my relationship with my dad, but I never pinpointed that as a result of my relationship with my mother until I got older. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just lost my thought.
So, like, I know there's different types of moms. Like, you know, they have like the sister mom. Like you see people and they're with their mom and they're like the same. They dress alike. They compete with each other. I don't think that's healthy either.
I don't think so. What do you think about, like, the mom that you say? I know you say like how to be a friend with the mom who is more like the friend versus being in the mom role, like trying to be, I guess, the cool mom or whatever that is.
I have mixed feelings.
So do you think like when they're younger, like y'all can be like best friends, or versus like waiting until they're older to be like becoming their friend?
I think it's yes and no, because I know like when we grew up, people are like, I'm your mom, I'm not your friend.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
I don't think you should be your child's friend in the sense where you're trying to make them happy versus tell them what is right.
Right.
But I do think you should be your child's friend where they feel comfortable and they trust you and they will talk to you. So I don't totally agree that you shouldn't be your child's friend, because like, no, like I have a teenager, so she should know, when you don't talk to me a certain type of way. I'm going to tell you what's right and what's best for you, not what's going to make you happy or feel good. But also, you know, I need you to feel comfortable to talk to me about some of the hard things. And, you know, I think sometimes mothers, especially like back in the day, you tell your mom something and she tell the whole family.
Yes.
Well, that's not being a good friend.
Right.
You know, I feel like you should be able to go to your mom and say, I'm struggling with this, or I'm having a hard time with this, and you two deal with it. And that's a part of being a friend. Not they tell the whole family.
Right. Now everybody in your business. And now you're the discussion at the next family gathering or wherever y'all at. Yeah.
And that's embarrassing.
So since you do have a teenager now, and you know they say that's usually when the mother-daughters kind of butt heads, I guess, is for lack of better words. Do you think that that's the time to like best to give her like more space to figure out who she is and more independence and respect, and you know, just as she's trying to become her person, or do you kind of keep pushing forward? Like, how do you balance that out?
I think I kind of did that from the beginning. Like, I think a big part of having a good mother-daughter relationship, and I only have one kid, so I could be wrong. It's not like I tried it another way. But I feel like a big part of having a good mother-daughter relationship is, one, how you feel about yourself. So I think some of the problems that mothers and daughters have is based on some of the problems that the mother has within herself.
Right.
And so I also think it stems from the mother trying to make the daughter either like a mini me or I did this, so you gonna do this, instead of just letting them develop and guide them. But I think in order for you to be able to just let somebody develop and guide them, you have to feel good. You have to feel good about yourself. So I think, especially with my daughter being a teenager, I do allow her to blossom and go to who she wants to be. But, she's 13. So, like, if you want to walk out the house with a full face of makeup because you think that's who you are,
right,
you can go wash your face,
right.
But, if you
right.
want to practice makeup at home
that's
and you want to draw and foster that talent, then yeah.
Right.
So that is just a balance.
Right.
And so I think,
So how do we help our girls with, like, we talked about this earlier, like, how we look at our bodies and how we're talking about our bodies and image and weight. Because I know my daughter's sitting up there watching TV and seeing all these little weight loss commercials and stuff. So she come in there and she was like, "You think I need to lose some weight?" Like, I was like, no, like,
right.
Be okay with who you are. So it's like still trying to instill that in them, like, love your body for the way it is.
I think the best thing we can do for them is to do it ourselves.
True.
Like, they're gonna always have those, things on TV. But teach them what it means to be healthy, what it means to love. But we have to love ourselves too, and treat our bodies good.
Right.
A lady told me when Alanis was little, she was like, "A happy mom makes happy kids." Mm-hmm. So I was struggling with making a decision that I felt like she would have been happier in, but I would have been miserable.
Right.
And she said she's gonna be happy wherever you're happy, and so. Sense. I've been thinking, like, the best thing I can do, we talked about this with struggling with appearances and insecurities is to not pick myself apart in front of her.
Right.
To be, work on myself. So I think that's a big part of the breakdown with mother and daughters. Like, do you think, like, what about, like, do you think sometimes mothers are jealous of their daughters?
Yeah. I think some are. It's almost kind of like what we were talking about before, like almost like they gave something up, or they didn't get to accomplish something, or now their body looks different and they're looking at their daughter, so they're like comparing themselves with their child. So I mean, I could see how some mothers could do that, but again, it's not healthy. But
yeah, I had read this article one time, and it said that in society, women's, like, sexism, so women's voices are just muted. We're not used to saying what we want and how we feel, or saying things to get what we want.
Right.
So now we have to raise another woman, and we have this internalized sexism because we treat ourselves the same. We treat each other the same way.
True.
Men will treat us one way, society treats us one way, and then as soon as we see another woman stepping out the box, we like, who she thinks she is? Women don't do that, and blah blah blah.
Yep.
We do it to each other, and so then we get a daughter. And now we have to cater to her needs, but we never got our needs addressed. And we never, was able to express our voice. So we're not really that open to allowing this woman to do something that I never got to do.
Right.
So I think that also plays a big part in mother-daughter relationships.
Yeah.
But I think, there's some great things with mother-daughter relationships. I think you should be friends. Like, especially when you get older, I think your mom should be your best friend.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not all the time that happens, but I think there's nothing wrong with that.
So how do you think, like, a mother-daughter can foster a relationship who are, maybe the mom is, like, girly, and then with the daughter is, like, tomboyish? So how do you think, like, they can...
Just accepting it, like, fostering, letting people be who they are. Right. I think that's just what's wrong with the world.
Right.
Let people be. Like, goodness, let them be. Like, you don't have to like what people are doing. Like, you don't have to, everything's not so. People are, certain words just need to go. Like, supposed to, routine, tradition, how we always did it. Well, this is how we do it in this family. Well, this is how it's raised. Like, let that go. Like, you can still, we're connected.
Right. It's like you want to be accepted for how you are because you say, this is how I am, this is how I raise, this is what it is. Okay, But respect, which I think sometimes people don't think kids deserve respect too, but right. Respect for, them for who they are. Yeah. Don't try to change them or mold them into what you want them to be. Like you said, just respect them for how they are.
Right. It was something else I was about to say about that. It's like, it's kind of like if mother or daughter, and like you said, I'm girly or whatever, and you might be tomboyish. That's just an example. It's kind of like they take it as a rejection. Like, you don't want to be like me.
Right.
But I don't look at it like, I think it's all about perception. Mm-hmm. Like, God didn't give me a child to make into another me. He used me pretty much as a portal for you to come to this world. You are a person. Like, even if you want to talk about science, you take the dad, the mom, you put them together. They're not half mom, half dad. Nope. They're mom and dad combined to make something else that's totally different. Right. And you might see little small characteristics, but it's not individual. Yeah, and I think that has a big thing to do with it. Like, mothers just really needing to get their needs met first. And then sometimes it takes that relationship. It took me having a child to fix some things about myself. Right. It shined a light on me. I was going to say,
I just put a spotlight on, like, this is what you need to work on.
So I think, if more mothers work on getting what they need, then that relationship with their daughter can be, you won't have to say, well, I stay home and I cook and clean for my family, and I had a meal on the stove every night, and my husband never laid a finger or lifted a finger, and you just want to go off and you ambitious. Well, be proud that I'm doing something, like, I'm doing something different. And if that's what you wanted to do, if you didn't really want to do it, you should have done what was best for you. Don't put that on me because I'm doing what's best for me. So how do you think, like, I think the generational roles also plays a big part in the breakdown in mother-daughter relationships, because I'm just gonna say it. I feel like women back in the day was just trained to suffer.
Yes, and we were that's what they were supposed to do. Yes, though. Like,
you bragging about being in this toxic, long relationship. You're bragging about things that did not make you happy.
I was just going to say that, but were you happy?
Yeah,
and they weren't. But they were bragging about. But they never say, but I was happy. It's, well, I did this and I did this. Yeah. It's what they did, not how happy or fulfilled or goals or achievements, or it's never any of that.
Yeah. And so when, it's younger generations
buck the system. Like, we're not doing that.
And that seems to be a problem. I think it needs to be more understanding, and people need, women in general need to really stand up and fight for what they want. And it's never too late.
Nope.
It's never too late.
Nope. It's like you said earlier too, like, if you look at yourself, like, do some work on yourself, like, right. And it's never too late, like you said too, like, you can decide to change and do better for yourself, move on. So I still think everybody can go to therapy. Like,
yes.
Go there, get some help. You can get you some therapy, work it out.
Talk about it.
Reinvent
yourself.
Yes.
Work out relationships, It's never too late.
In relationships.
Yes. And I'm glad we're talking about it, because it's so much going on in the world. And we need each other. Like, we need those positive interactions more so than ever right now.
Yes.
And that's how I feel. So, I feel like we just need to do what we need to do to interact better, have better relationships in general.
Right.
So, well, let us know about your relationship with your mom, or things that you found that work for you in your parenting, or things that have you changed or worked on or just learned throughout the years. We would love to hear it. You can follow us on Instagram at Live Nurse Strong.
Yep.
Twitter at Live Nurse Strong.
Email.
Yep, livenursestrong@gmail.com. Thank you.